tomorrow. Well, I am on the blue team, so I am looking for a victory by the blue, but both defenses to play great.
Is this one of the deeper game? 10-3 game?
You know, the best game ever, like 3-4. A field goal and 2 safeties, and that's how you win the game. Like, that's a beautiful game right there.
Why have the defenses won so much in the previous scrimmages?
My coach talks about it all the time with, you know, as he talks to you guys and he talks about takeaways. You get takeaways, you turn the ball over, or if you turn the ball over, you're going to lose the scrimmage. If we get takeaways, we're going to win it. So, you know, I think we've been, you know, last year we were down in getting our takeaways. And, you know, sometimes when you get newer guys playing, sometimes they're not as confident of taking that risk or going to attack something and truly going to get it. And I think you feel these guys gaining their confidence as they have more snaps underneath their belt. And now they're taking a little bit more risk. And now they're going, instead of just making the safe play and making the tackle, now they're truly trying to go make the great play. And I think we've been fortunate enough to get some takeaways in these scrimmages, which has allowed us to win them defensively the last 2 weeks.
Seems like a unique situation where you guys have 2 safeties that started all last year that very much know what they got to do in Javon and Donovan, but also guys behind them like Jesse and Cruz who can be dynamic playmakers and, you know, maybe would be starters if there weren't experienced guys ahead of them. What does that many players you guys can call upon do for what you guys can plan as a defense to coordinate and confuse offenses?
Good. You call it unique. I call it a good situation as the safeties coach. But it is. We've been fortunate. Obviously, you've had the 3 guys last year with PJ, Donovan. You got PJ, Donovan, and Javon take a lot of snaps, and you've seen Cruz and Jesse just continuously get better. Now they're young guys. They've made good plays. All right, they've made some really good plays, and they've got the ball in their hands, which you got to be able to have playmaking ability to be able to get out there. But there's still a lot of things that we got to clean up within the play with those young guys. You'll see those veterans just technically do some things, which they've been through those reps and they've been through, you know, situations and situational football more. So we're still growing from that standpoint with those young guys. But at the end of the day, they can make football plays, which that's the biggest thing. All right, the ability to make a play when it comes to you or the ball comes to you. Now, what does it do for us opening up? Now, you know, you see those guys getting some reps on Delta, which last year we had a corner in at Delta, and now you get to see some of those guys, which Ryland's still repping Delta. But you also have Cruz, which he's got some great reps at Delta this spring. Then Jesse's learning it as well. So, you know, it just makes the competition good. And at the end of the day, you know, those guys are up there, they're getting their film, they're getting their extra work. And, like, you have to bring it every single day because if not, you know, the next guy can play, which is a good situation for me as a coach and for us as a program.
Yesterday I heard someone say, BJ, inside voice.
Oh, my gosh.
What
Yeah.
do you bring to your meetings?
You know what? So that's the crazy part. So PJ, everybody, you guys been here for years. PJ is going into year 4, and he came here early enrollee, high energy. You know, he's always getting guys up. He's got a big smile on his face. But if you come into the meeting room with just the 7 of us in there, PJ is very locked in. Okay, he is. I see that facial expression right there. PJ's very locked in, and he's very studious in there and paying attention and attentive. Not just in there, but very attentive, excuse me. So you'd be surprised at how he approaches the meeting room. You know, it's just once he gets a group of guys, he likes to have some fun and crack some jokes. But at the same time, too, he loves to get the energy going and get the energy going on the defense, too. But he's good in the meeting room. He's very good in the meeting room. Now, there's sometimes when we watch film, he sees some stuff that I have no idea how he sees. There's one time we're watching film, this is funny. We're watching film and there's somebody kayaking on the river, and he's like, "Coach, look at that boat." I'm like, "What are you looking at?" I'm looking at the slot receiver right now. But he's good in the meeting room. He's absolutely good in the meeting room.
How was he last year? I mean, starts a few games and then, you know, moves out, still plays a lot, but moves out of the starting lineup. I mean, how did you see him sort of take that change over the course of the season?
Now it was challenging for him. You know, we go into West Virginia, he didn't play, then his role completely changed. Now he was still playing a lot of snaps, but I would say he's a team player. Because a lot of guys could have packed it in and completely changed their attitude, their demeanor, and their approach. And, you know, he still had a successful season after that. All his interceptions came after him being, you know, in the rotation, or it being more of a rotation. And he still had a few starts after that, I think. But, you know, I think those guys, they truly do. Like, those three are very close. You know, we were talking the other day about just relationships from childhood and that, and to sit there and listen to those three talk about how each other impacts each other. They never thought they'd have relationships like this coming to college, and like they go to spring break. Those three are together during spring break, the last two spring breaks, and that's pretty cool as a coach to sit back and watch. So they challenge each other, they push each other, and at the end of the day, like it could be Donovan PJ, it could be Donovan Vaughn, could be Vaughn PJ, could be Cruz, whoever, could be Jesse. You know, there's a good situation there of each other pushing and challenging, and I think everybody accepts, you know, the standard to be pushed and not take any days light either.
You mentioned all those combinations you could throw out there. Is this the deepest that you feel you said have been anymore?
I think in the last few years, I know back in 2020, you know, when we had our two guys, then we had Hallett Hill backing up. I mean, we were pretty solid in 2020 with four guys that could roll out there and play. Yeah, you know, you feel comfortable right now, but you know, we still got to go out and make those plays on Saturday too. You know, in front of a crowd and all that as well.
What would you like to see from your group on Saturday?
Saturday, just continue to compete. One thing I've been big on, all right, is physicality. All right, I want to see us continue to be physical. Like, we are going to be a physical secondary this year, and that's something that's been harped on for the last 14 practices. So I want to see their physicality. I want to see their motors flying around. Like, that's it, you know, and obviously playing some clean football and that, but I want to see their motors and their physicality of what they've been doing for the previous 14 practices, and I want to see that sustained and see them do it again in practice 15.
Cory,
Who has the most takeaway stickers so far this year?
Oh, I got it in there on the board. It's between Cruz, might, PJ. It's Cruz and PJ.
Okay.
It's Cruz and PJ, I think. But yeah, they're competing. I mean, Cruz, PJ. I think Jesse has 4 or 5. Donnie has 3 picks and I think a forced fumble. Vaughn got his first interception yesterday. It was a happy moment for all of us in the back end. So he went and took a ball away from the slot in the seam. So it was pretty good, and he attacked it well, got extended, you know, and really went into and got the football. It was good.
What's led to the guys who had the turnover success in practice? What have you seen them do really well to be those kind of playmakers? And all those things you see transitioning to the fall.
So I think a lot of these things, they start before we start in March. So when we're on the road in January and February, like, these guys are in there getting extra work. They're on the jugs. They're getting their catches in on the jugs while we're away on the road recruiting. They're in there going through defensive back individual throughout January and February when we can't be with those guys. So it starts then. Then it just starts having, you know, being intentful with how you are in the meetings, how you are an individual, and you can see the growth in those guys from last year to this year of their approach to everything. So I think even as it goes into drills of what we're doing out there on the field, them understanding how those drills truly do correlate to the game.
Cory, I'm sure someone follows into that answer, but we've talked to a lot of players and coaches. Cruz's name comes up a lot. What has allowed him to make the impact that he has this spring?
Cruz is a good football player, but you go back to Steel Valley, his senior year, and even before that, Cruz is playing quarterback. Cruz is playing DB. He takes those guys to the semifinals, out there playing every snap. I remember me and Coach Dews went and watched him play basketball in January of his senior year. He scored 40 points. So he's got an innate ability to make plays, things you can't coach. You know what I mean? He's got an innate ability to make plays, but as well, to be young, he does transfer things from the classroom to the field very well, of understanding not just what we do, but having an understanding of offenses. But he's been blessed. His parents and trainers and all those guys, they did a good job. And, you know, Cruz does have some good playmaking ability to him and understanding of the game as well.
You like those things when you were recruiting him, but has he even sort of surprised you this spring with how far along he's gotten?
Yeah, so the thing too, and just all those guys, like Cruz, like if he has a bad practice, don't talk to him. Like, don't. Like he'll, like, I remember during camp, like, he had, like, a bad camp day, and, like, the guys just know to leave him alone. Like, he don't want to talk to anybody until the next day when it's time to practice again, and he can wash it. So he has, like, for him to be so young, like, you know, these guys get to college, they want to hang out, and they're just young, figuring themselves out. Like, you would think he's an older guy because at the end of the day, he's about football and school. Like, that's what Cruz is about. I think they tell me during camp, like, he goes to sleep at like 9:30 p.m. and stuff, you know. So he does have a good approach to the game, and you know, every day he's in there before 7 a.m. With extra meeting. You know, doing extra meetings and that, and just asking those guys questions. So I'm not surprised. You're not surprised because he has the ability, but he has such a strong love and desire for this. Like, that kid loves football. You can't question it. You guys sit out there and you watch him play, his physicality, how he runs to the ball, just how he's always attacking. Like, that kid loves football. If you go down to the training room right now, you look at him, he's on his iPad, he's watching film, or he's watching YouTube safeties right now. Like, he's doing one of the two and nothing else. So he has such a strong love and desire for the game.
How are you going to keep him off the field Saturday? Sounds like the kind of guy that doesn't want to be hurt.
Oh, yeah, he does. And we'll see, you know, what his role is there and what it looks like on Saturday. But at the end of the day, you know, he's done a good job through 13 practices. He's practiced his butt off. We've never questioned, questioned, anything of his work ethic or going out there. And we know he wants to be out there. But at the end of the day, it's always about what's best for the program, too.
Anything else for Coach? Coach mentioned there's going to be iPads to be used on the side, or tablets to be used on the sideline for kind of in-game review. How is that changing the way that you coach, or how does that affect things in the mid-game?
Well, yeah, it will be good, and that's still, you know, new, never done that before. And on Saturdays, I'm upstairs in the box, so I don't know if those will be able to be used upstairs, if that's only on the sideline with the players. But, you know, there's things, you know, the game goes so fast and your eyes are trying to see multiple things. There might be something you could miss, and you can easily go back and pull something up. And even I think we adjust very well within games, but it allows you to adjust even better. You know, something happens last series and you can see pinpoint exactly. There's no like, well, no, you can pinpoint exactly what happened. So it allows for your adjustments to be quicker and even cleaner.